Hey everybody, welcome back to another Skills Canada training video for graphic design technology. And today we're talking about photo montages. And specifically in this case, it was a photo montage that was required for the cover and the spine of a book and of a promotional booklet. And so in the case of any photo montage that you're going to be using in your projects, a lot of times it's going to give you specific technical requirements for the composition itself, but you are going to notice here that the size often will be very important. So in the case of this cover, it had to be exactly 15.875 by 10 inches. All right. However, one thing that a lot of competitors miss is that you also have to have your bleed factored into that. So that's going to make it 16 1/8 by 10 1/4. One last important detail is down here that when you are using images of any sort, they need to be placed at 100% size. They cannot be scaled. And the resolution has to be exactly 300. So I'm going to show you how to check all that and how to make sure that your photo montages are correct. So let's jump into Photoshop. You're going to see a picture here that the competitor used for their cover. All right, and if we go to image size, what you're going to see here is the size of the image should actually be 16.125. Okay. I'm just gonna hit OK. That should be at exactly the size. Oh, it just keeps jumping back to 2.7. I'm not sure why, but that's okay. So 16.125 by 10.25 with a resolution of 300. All right, and we can see it's in inches. We know that it's exact. And what we can do then is go into InDesign and take a look at that cover and make sure that it is placed at 100%. Now currently I have the bleeds turned off, but if I have the bleeds turned on, you can see that it fits exactly in that space at 16.125 by 10.25. Now, we still, at least as a competitor, you will not be able to tell whether you accidentally scaled it. So one last check is if you go to Window and you go to Links, you're going to see that image has been placed. And if you have the scale option turned on, it's going to tell you if it's been scaled in any way. The way you get that option turned on in your links palette is you go to those four little lines in the corner, you go to panel options, and you just make sure that scale is checked on, okay? I also make sure actual PPI and effective PPI are turned on as well. But in this case, scale, very important. And if your image is at 100%, you won't see any scale factor here. It's just going to be blank, like you see here. So that tells us that this picture was placed at 100%. It was not scaled. We can actually check that down here too, because the actual PPI and the effective PPI are the same number. You can see that here too. All right. Those are little checks to make sure that you didn't accidentally scale your image. On the inside of the magazine, we can also check that anything that is a image, a Photoshop image, has not been scaled by checking those numbers to make sure they match and making sure that there is no scale factor in the scale part of the links palette. All right. Again, these are things that you will lose marks for, but they're really easy to check. So make sure you check it before you submit your final piece.